So now we personalize. This is strictly for auditions, by the way. I'm not talking about actually doing the part. I'm not talking about the exploration after you get the part. This is a specific thing we're talking about. After you begin to personalize, you'll start to turn up feelings in your own life. I remember when I walked in and she was in the bathroom and she'd been gone for 3 days and I didn't know where she was, and I remember that time. And then you go in the script, he suddenly realizes, or she said, "I was out. What business is it of yours?" In the script. And you go back to your life and you go, "Oh, I remember that," what that felt like. And you begin to invite your own world in and stir up the things inside of yourself so you feel harmonically involved, and psychologically involved, and emotionally involved, and sexually involved, and humorously involved in your body. It starts to work. Your body. Not your words, your body. Am I saying you don't say the words? No, I haven't said that. You gotta say the words. Now that I've done more homework on the detective, leading me to the personalization and the involvement of myself in there, and when have I been in experiences like this so that I can speak from my own truth. And by the way, I'm giving you just the topical version of how this all plays together, because there's much more involved in this. Then we go, what's going to happen in that auditioning room? And again, clearly state this is not what you do for performance. This is not what you do when you have 4 weeks to work on 5 weeks to work on a play. This is not what you do when you have a movie role or a television role that you've already gotten. This is strictly for the cannibalistic atmosphere of the audition. You then try to distill down to the room itself and the reality of the room. You say to yourself, what am I doing? I want that job. And you know there's 55 other actors and actresses who look as good as you. They're all smart, they're well educated, but maybe they don't work as hard as you. Maybe they come in and sit there, look at the sides and read the newspaper. Good, that's great, that's a good thing. When you've spent the last 2 days, maybe spending 15 to 20 hours on an audition. 15 to 20 hours, yeah. Sorry, you want the part? Yeah, that's not impossible. Even walking around late at night dreaming on it. So now part 3 is the room. The scene, let's make one up here, calls for me to go. Let's just say I'm a father who's down and out, and I need to come to my son who I've never, or my daughter who I've never had a really good relationship, and I have to ask them for money. That's an interesting storyline we just thought. That's a real problem. You've been a bad father, now you got to go in and try to borrow money from an unrelated child that you haven't been particularly good to. It's tough. So we've done all my homework. I've done the detective work. I know who they are. I know who I am. I have a backstory all set for myself. And now I've also invited phase 2 myself into it. I've begun to personalize myself so that the harmonics of who I am are involved. Now, part 3, strictly for auditions. What happens in that room? I need to ask my child, who I'm estranged from, to help me when I've never helped them. To give me money because they're successful in spite of how bad I was. So then I have to go, when have I ever been in that condition? And when have I ever had to go ask for something and I really didn't want to? And when have I had to ask for it from somebody who I know it is more than likely going to be angry that I'm even daring to do this? And I start to feel those things, and I start to understand those things after all the hours of work I put in. Now I got to go in that room, in that audition. I'm trying to do what? Now we start talking about clearly defined objectives that basically I don't go near too much because they tend to put blinkers on it. Most people, what's your objective? What's your objective? What's your objective? Get the horse with blinkers on and run him down the track. Well then, your objective has got 360 degrees behind it. But now we're in an audition. And you got to grab onto anything because it's cannibalistic. So, you say to yourself, What I'm doing in that scene is trying to get this child to help me. Well, what am I doing in that office? What am I doing in that office itself with the person I'm reading with? Now, you may have somebody reading, and you may have the casting person over there. You may have the casting person reading with you. That's a double problem, because the casting person has only got one brain and they're asked to do 9 different things. And let's hope it's a good casting person who doesn't try to manipulate you and lets you do what you need to do, lets you bring your process to the table. Oftentimes that can be a problem. So the actor now goes in and says, I really need help.